Officially known as the Republic of Costa Rica, Costa Rica is a country in Central America, bordered by Nicaragua, Panama, the Caribbean Sea, and the Pacific Ocean. Today I will be addressing the historical overview of Costa Rica, the geography, urbanization, and economy of Costa Rica with a connection to tourism, and I will follow up with a conclusion and my citations. Let's first talk about the historical overview of Costa Rica. Costa Rica, or literally Rich Coast, has a population of 5 million. 333,980 of those citizens live in San Jose, Costa Rica's capital. Costa Rica's official language is Spanish. The Costa Rican government is a unitary presidential constitutional republic, and they are generally known for a stable democracy. They have a highly educated workforce, as 6.9% of their budget is spent on education, compared to the global average 4.4%. The history of Costa Rica begins with the indigenous people, belonging to the intermediate area where the peripheries of Mesoamerican and Andean native cultures overlapped. The impact of indigenous peoples on modern Costa Rican culture has been relatively small. Most of the native population was absorbed into the Spanish-speaking colonial society through intermarriage. In the 16th century, Costa Rica fell to Spanish rule, after Christopher Columbus voyaged to Costa Rica in 1502. Costa Rica was a poor, isolated, and sparsely inhabited region due to the lack of indigenous population to exploit as encomiendas or forced labor. Like the rest of Central America, Costa Rica never fought for independence from Spain. On the 15th of September 1821, after the final Spanish defeat in the Mexican War of Independence, the authorities in Guatemala declared the independence of all Central America. Upon independence, Costa Rican authorities formed two groups, the imperialists, which were in favor of joining the Mexican Empire, and the republicans, who defended full independence. The first civil war of Costa Rica occurred, and the conflict was won by the republicans. In 1838, long after the Federal Republic of Central America ceased to function in practice, Costa Rica formally withdrew and proclaimed itself sovereign. Costa Rica formally declared its independence in 1847. Now that I've introduced the history of Costa Rica, I will now talk about the geography and its effects on tourism. Costa Rica is 19,653 square miles, which is slightly smaller than West Virginia. The country offers a wide variety of landscapes and terrain within a very limited land area of barely 50,000 kilometers squared. It has four main geographical areas: the tropical lowlands, the northern central plains, the Central Valley, and the Northwest Peninsula. Running in a northwest-south-to-east direction, the Guanacaste and Talamanca mountain ranges are the defining features of a landscape that has earned Costa Rica the nickname of Switzerland of Central America. It has five towering mountain ranges: the Central Mountain Range, the Talamanca Mountain Range, the Talaran Mountain Range, the Guanacaste Mountain Range, and the Iguazu Hills. The country has over 10 mountains over 3,000 meters tall, the tallest being Cerro Chirripó at 3,820 meters high. But to paint a complete picture, I have to mention the impressive number of volcanoes in Costa Rica, 116 in total, of which 5 are active and monitored. Costa Rica has two seasons, dry season and wet season. Dry season is from December to April, and wet season is May through November. During wet season, Costa Rica gets 150 to 200 inches of rain, which are the base for its amazing river scene. There are 14 major river systems that originate in Costa Rica's mountains, each draining into the Caribbean Sea, the Pacific Ocean, the San Juan River, or Lake Nicaragua. They produce famous whitewater rapids and others just natural boundaries between Costa Rica and bordering nations. Although Costa Rica's rivers are beautiful, be aware of their American crocodiles that inhabit the area as well. The geography of Costa Rica attributes to its mass level of ecotourism every year. Costa Rica's top 5 tourist attractions were gifted to them by nature, the most popular being the Manuel Antonio Park. Surrounding area are known for beautiful beaches, lush forest, and diverse wildlife that inhabits the area. The second most popular is the Arno Volcano National Park, found in the rugged Cordillera de Toleran. It is one of the top volcano viewing areas in the country. The main attraction here is the Arno Volcano, a cone-shaped mountain with huge ash columns frequently streaming from the crater. Arno was dormant from AD 1500 until a massive eruption on July 29, 1968, which killed 82 people and destroyed 2 villages. Since then, it has been regular activity, and depending on the day of the week, visitors can expect to see anything from cloud ash to glowing red lava flowing down the mountain. Next are the cloud forests near Monte Verde. The clouds covering these forests provide moisture necessary to sustain the area's unique habitats. Organized hikes are one of the best ways to see the forest. Another option are the canopy tours that may involve zip lines, bridges, or even cable cars. The next is Dominical, a tropical backpacker's haven with dirt streets and beautiful beaches. Dominical is one of the best places in Costa Rica for surfing. Finally, there is Tamarindo, a town spread along Tamarindo Beach known for adventures and activities including snorkeling, diving, horseback riding, ziplining, and turtle watching. Costa Rica has an abundance of tourism due to the natural attraction of its geography. It has a range of activities that attract over 1 million tourists per year. Costa Rica is a destination that is in high demand. With its natural beauty, mild year-round temperatures, strategic location, and convenient direct flights, Costa Rica has an irresistible haven for adventure seekers, vacationers, and retirees. As ecotourism is a billion-dollar business, let's talk about the economy of Costa Rica and how it in turn relates to tourism. Costa Rica is neither rich, as its name Rich Coast implies, nor as poor as many of its neighbors. The country's wealth is better distributed among all social classes than anywhere else in Central America. The economy rebounded after the economic stagnation of the 1980s. By the beginning of the 21st century, the rate of annual GNP growth was above the Central American average and was double the world average. While the country's chronic inflation had been brought by largely under control, per capita national debt, however, is among the largest in Central America. Costa Rica's economy used to be dependent on cash crops, like many Latin American countries. The practice was a double-edged sword, however, it left them dangerously reliant on their product of choice. The economic model had two main problems. Firstly, when the global value of the product dropped, the country would experience sudden and dramatic drop in income. The second problem was that often more developed countries would buy the raw products, process them into finished goods, and then sell them to Latin America countries at a higher price. Costa Rica was more aware of this problem than many of their neighbors, and they took steps to diversify their economy. The country has been established itself as a leading producer of electronic circuitry and pharmaceuticals as well as medical instruments. This means that not only is their reliance on one product diminished, but they are also manufacturing finished goods. Agriculture and manufactured goods only make up around 30% of the country's GDP. Costa Rica has a GDP of $71 billion, making it the 77th most powerful economy globally and sits above the global average. The rest is drawn from tertiary industries. One of these is tourism. It's one of the most critical sectors and over the last 25 years has grown rapidly. In 2012, 11.5% of Costa Rican labor force was employed by tourism. Costa Rica earned $3.4 billion in 1 year from visitor spending. Ecotourism in Costa Rica is a way to satisfy both the ecological and economic needs of people. Costa Rica's economy flourished because of tourism. They used their natural resources to attract rather than to sell, this allowing Costa Rica a step up in the economy as they are less dependent on other countries to support their economy. Tourism in Costa Rica is immensely popular, and if global trends continue, Costa Rica's economy will continue to flourish. One major impact on Costa Rica's economy can be seen through the urbanization of Costa Rica. Now we are going to look at the urbanization as well as its effect on tourism. Approximately 80.8% of Costa Rica's total population lives in urban areas. Urbanization in Costa Rica can be seen through its capital, San Jose. San Jose is the largest city in Costa Rica, and it was founded in 1736. The growth of the cities and the development of the housing in Costa Rica did not get such a problem until 1940 with the expansion of housing. Then in 1990, urbanization boomed again with the influx of Nicaraguans immigrating to Costa Rica. On top of this population influx, the Costa Rican government was making significant strides to reduce poverty. Additionally, these local leaders committed to cleaning up the environment, and the deforestation rate actually began to slow. One distinct feature of Costa Rican's brand for urbanization is how concentrated it is. For instance, the most countries have a few urban centers, but in Costa Rica, development is hyper-concentrated in the greater metropolitan area. San Jose sits at the center of the GMA, and the urban area flows out from there pretty much into lush rainforests that are dotted with smaller, more rural towns. Costa Rica has a distinctive sub-neighborhood, all with nightlife offerings, and are within walking distance of the city center, which is packed with museums, historical buildings, and small but thriving street culture. Costa Rica's urbanization had a menial effect on its population. The largest effect of urbanization was the creation of shantytowns. Shantytowns are a deprived area on the outskirts of a city consisting of large numbers of shanty dwellings. These dwellings generally represent poverty in a city. Urbanization in Costa Rica attributed to tourism in two main ways. The first being the creation of cities gave tourists a central area to explore. Tourists generally wanted to be in the heart of the city and be able to explore outward as well as learn the history and development of the city while they were in it. The second, more rare attribution to tourism that urbanization had on Costa Rica was shantytowns. Shantytowns became a tourist attraction themselves. Triángulo de la Soledad, one of the capital's best-known slums, and is a very popular tourist attraction in Costa Rica. Slum residents are guides for tourists. They show them the basics of how they lived within shantytowns, and it's used to make money. They are popular for people looking for a new perspective on life and hopefuls who wish to eradicate poverty. Overall, urbanization has generally positive effect on tourism in Costa Rica. The tourists use urban areas as a centralized point in their adventures, whereas what is to be seen of the negative part of urbanization turned itself into a separate tourist attraction in Costa Rica. In comparison to the rest of Central America, Costa Rica has built itself a lasting foundation. Tourism gave Costa Rica the chance to develop quickly without losing its natural resources. The geography, economy, and urbanization of Costa Rica gave tourism the baseline it needed to allow Costa Rica to flourish. Costa Rica, in comparison to the rest of Central America, is further developed when looking at their education, healthcare, and General Human Development Index, or HDI. Costa Rica avoided the lasting effects of colonialism, conquest, and interventions. I believe that Costa Rica isn't done developing. They have positioned themselves as a strong nation economically and have prioritized education and healthcare for their citizens. I believe that Costa Rica will establish itself as one of the most successful countries in Latin America and continue to grow in the future. This project allowed me to fully research a place that I have always wanted to go to. It gave me insights through history and present trends while also learning about similar countries and their trends. This course gave me a huge insight into Latin America. I believe it has destroyed stereotypes and increased my knowledge of culture, and it has also given me 19 new places that I would like to visit. Here is my list of sources for this presentation. Thank you.